Border security. Border Patrol announcing that it has had to release hundreds of migrants detained at the U.S.-Mexico border because of overcrowding. It is running out of room at detention facilities. This coming as border arrests last month reached its highest number in over a decade. Border agents arrested more than 66,000 migrants attempting to enter the country. Joining us right now is former Obama administration Border Patrol chief and former FBI official Mark Morgan. And Mark, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Characterize the situation for us at the border today.
It's absolutely a national emergency. And so what we're talking about right now is part of the continued catch and release. It's a little bit different than before. Usually Border Patrol agents, everybody they catch, they turn them over to ICE, who then releases them according to the policies. Right now, what you're seeing is a different form of the catch and release, is that Border Patrol agents now, because their facility is overwhelmed, ICE doesn't have any more room. Now Border Patrol agents are having to release illegal aliens into the interior United States. They're overwhelmed.
So it's like they're not even on the books in terms of, you know, when they have to come back for a hearing or a trial, right?
Exactly.
And that's why catch and release was always, you know, criticized, because you let them, you release them, and then they may or may not come back.
Oh, they don't come back. I mean, it's catch and release. I mean, with the policies in there, now they have appeal rights that they have once they've been ordered removed. I mean, basically is once they come in, they're released, you never hear from them again.
So what factors have led to this moment in time being the level of crisis that it's at? I mean, you just mentioned this is absolutely a national emergency. What is pushing us over the edge? Why are we at a tipping point at this time? What are the various factors that have led to that?
I think simply the asylum laws and the loopholes and how we treat people who come to this country illegally, the incentive and the pull factor. So the intelligence will show you they're not fleeing violence and persecution like a lot of the talking points. Actually, the violence in Guatemala, all Central American countries, are way down. Homicide rates overall. They're coming for two reasons: economic equality, family reunification. And they know, because of our asylum laws, they set one foot in American soil, they're allowed in, never to be heard from again.
Wow.
Okay, so this is the backdrop to this debate over the border barrier, which, even if it's built quickly, takes a while. So to deal with the actual immediate crisis, what would be the one or two best things the government could do right now?
Two things is look at asylum laws. Someone comes here illegally and they want to claim asylum, they stay in Mexico and they wait for their hearing, or they wait in their country of origin for the asylum claim to be heard, because the majority of them, they either don't follow up with asylum claim, or those that do don't show up, and those that do show up, the majority of them are denied. So we know these claims are false. So let's keep them in Mexico while they're waiting the asylum.
Does it take an act of Congress to do that, or could the administration just do it?
I think the administration is doing that right now in San Diego, and of course, Ninth Circuit. There's a suit in the Ninth Circuit right now that's going on, and we know with the judicial activism, every case it seems to be going against trying to protect our borders.
Unbelievable. And you said earlier that it was at one point a lot of men coming over the border, but now it's families, and I say quote unquote families because you don't believe that it's really families. That's
right, Marie. That is one of the pillars that's spot on, that's not being talked about enough. They want to talk about numbers overall. The past couple of years, numbers have been down. Well, that's really a false narrative, because back in the 90s, early 2000s, the majority of them were Mexican males, and they were removed back to Mexico. Now, with family units and children, 65% of those people coming in illegally now are being allowed in the United States.
And there have been fatalities.
Absolutely. We just saw Bambi Larson, an illegal alien, had been here back and forth multiple times. 9 ICE detainers, was brutally stabbed in her own house while she was alone. We need to fix this problem.
What about the migrants in the U.S. sending billions of dollars back to their home countries? We've got data from the Pew Research Center that Mexican migrants sent over $23 billion from the U.S. back to Mexico, over $6 billion to Guatemala, and $4 billion to El Salvador. That was just 2016 numbers. What do you make of these numbers? So,
again, the experts, when I heard those numbers, I wasn't surprised, because this has been going on forever. Yeah. This isn't anything new. In fact, there's reports that people will actually come here illegally. They'll actually buy goods, like appliances and et cetera, and actually bring them back to their country of origin. So this isn't anything new, but it's a further indication this is a real problem.
You know, Byron, Mark is a border chief from the Obama administration, and he's telling us that it's a national emergency. today, and the Democrats basically do not want President Trump to have any win on this.
I haven't seen any break in the Democratic wall on this, which is that there is no emergency. This is a made-up emergency. And one of the reasons they do so is because as bad as it is now, 10, 15 years ago, it was actually worse. During the administration of George W. Bush, apprehensions of people trying to cross illegally were far higher than they are today. So the Democrats' logic is it can't be an emergency because it used to be worse. So far, they feel like they won on this. They're not going to change.
But you know, Nancy Pelosi has a wall in her own state, you know, separating San Diego from Tijuana. That's not immoral. It's in her own state.
And again, what I would say is we have to be careful about the numbers, because, again, it's not just about the numbers. It's about the demographics. Again, 1 million in the 2000, 90% of them were removed. 1 million this year, 65%, 650,000 will be allowed into the United States. Numbers are completely different, and the issue is completely different because of the demographics. That's a false narrative that's not being talked about
So
enough.
you think then it is worse today than it was back under George W. Bush?
No doubt it's worse. The numbers don't tell the entire story. You have to look at the context behind the numbers. And the numbers here, if we hit 1 million this year, 650,000 will be let into the United States. That's quadruple what was being allowed in the United States when the numbers were higher. And let's not forget another part of the narrative that's not talked about, Maria, with the border being wide open, why the Border Patrol agents are being what I call doing child care protective humanitarian mission. Guess what? The border's wide open. So we don't know what the heck is getting through. So I will actually say the problem is worse now by far than it used to be.
Wow. All right, we'll leave it there. Mark, great insights from you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Mark Morgan joining us there.